Yeah. So what you been saying about my brother? Yeah, we've got him a little bit, yeah?
What happened there then? Alright, if you notice, the first thing we're going to talk about today is what happens when someone gets in your face and gets your head down in a fight. Because if a guy gets your head down in a fight, you're pretty vulnerable, right? It's difficult to deal with. It's a lot difficult to deal with. It is. Because the guy gets your head down and starts throwing punches at you, you can't see it because your head's down. Most importantly, it's an old schoolboy trick. You pull the person's head close over their head, or you pull them down, get their head down, and you can start to strike, start to punch. You've got a knife, you can draw it out, start to stab the kidneys quite rapidly. The thing is, with the guy's head down, if you hit, and I was mentioning this earlier, what you never want to do is pull the person's head down and punch their skull. Because you punch the skull, what do you think you're going to do with your hand? You're going to cripple your hand. Bad job. So what you always want to do, if you do pull that person's head down, is hit with the edge of the hand. As you're hitting with the edge of the hand here, you're hitting into the occipital ridge, this ridge here. So what you're trying to do when you're hitting here is trying to concuss the guy. Another way to do it is with an open hand. You hit bang with an open hand or hit here. But either way, you're roughing them up, you're pulling them down, and you're doing what we call flagging. You're bouncing them. You're not pulling, because if the person's a lot bigger than you, and let's face it, you know, Nick's a big guy. He's not a small guy, right? You've got to yank, 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 yank. It's a little bit like a dog and pulling on a lead, pulling on a lead, pulling on a lead. So that's the first thing. So is it a dangerous attack? Yes. It is a dangerous attack. So one of the things we're going to look at is how to deal with someone who's trying to pull your head down. Believe it or not, we spoke about the attack, bang, bang. Okay, but let's look at the defense. So the defense is quite simple. The first thing you always want to do, if someone's grabbing your head, is to try to keep your spine straight. So as he goes to grab my head, okay, you grab my head.
Sorry, people.
That's all right. Let's just improvise. You want your own show now, don't you? George has gone on to fame now. He's off in Hollywood. He's going to have his own fan club coming out. Yeah, well, yeah, you just want to follow them. Anyway, he grabs hold of my head. As he grabs hold of my head, it's all right, you can pull, that's fine. One thing I don't want to do is allow my chin to go down and my head to go down. So what I have to do is see my belt line and my hip. I need to push my hips forward and my head up. So essentially, as he's pulling down, I'm resisting forward. Can you see? It does help. There's a couple of things about that though, because when someone's pulling, if they know what they're doing, by the way, what they'll do is they'll pull on the top of their head. Luckily, most people don't know what they're doing. So when they pull your head, they pull on the top of the head, see how his chin goes down. So it breaks his posture, makes it really difficult. So that being the case, if he does know what he's doing, okay, and he's pulling on the top of the head, you have to bring your hips down and then up and forward to be able to get your chin back up. Okay, another thing that you can do, especially if he does know what he's doing and he's doing more of a sort of a professional clinch where he's putting his elbow in, a little bit like a clinch fighter, right? Okay, from this position is to use your shoulder. Can you feel that?
Yes.
Okay, so it creates a little bit of torque. So a couple of things on this. Hips forward, grab hold of my head please. Hips forward here and turn your shoulder. Okay, you notice I'm not being a dummy. Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm holding his hand here because from this position makes it really hard, makes it really hard, makes it really hard. I can punch him single knuckle, really give him a little bit of pain, really adjustment. Most of you people are going to say, yeah, but he's not going to be standing there. Well, there's a reason why he's standing there, because I'm pushing up against the wall. This would be very different if we were in an open space. If we were in an open space, you okay, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then the concepts will be the same, except as now what I'm doing is I'm looking at barring this arm. So I'm looking at barring the arm and also catching and sticking with this one. So if you're grabbing my head, pulling it down dynamically, boom, and then this is dynamic now because he's actually using a little bit of strength, which is what I wanted. You see how immediately I cup into this hand and turn around, boom. I cup into this hand and I bar this one. Can you feel it?
Yes.
And at the same time I turn my shoulder like this. So we go back to the scenario, you grab my head to punch me, boom, I'm like this. I'm bridging this arm with this hand in this fashion, so I'm cutting on the inside. So even if he wants to come with an inside uppercut or what have you, bang, it's really hard because I'm rolling on, I'm moving, we're using my head. I'm standing on his foot, okay, because if I stand on his foot, he can't run away. The most important, I have to be kneeing, groin, punching the groin, head butting him, elbowing him, making his life a misery, because I don't know, I just upset him for some other reason. I smiled. It's the story of my life. So, simple defenses for someone grabbing your head and pulling it down. First thing, try to get your hips forward. You don't have to be brilliant at doing this. You don't have to be big and strong. What you do have to do though, however, is be aware of your pelvis and your core of your body. So getting your hips forward, head up is a start. Always jam the other arm. Always grab hold of it, make sure you know where it is. If you can't hold it for whatever reason, then you cup it, like so. And if you say to me, yeah, but I'm not strong enough to do that, or my mum can't do that, whatever, then you grab hold of the clothing. Simple. You grab hold of the clothing, you keep the arm away, you let them have this arm, but most importantly, you turn your shoulder, which gives you these sort of bodies, these sort of bodies, these sort of bodies, these sort of bodies, so you're right, yep. And then your head butts him, because his hands are tied up. He's not going anywhere, nowhere, and that's what I want. Okay? I want to make it a fight, I want to make it ugly, it's a dog fight, and that's what I want to make it. You okay?
I'm fine.
You enjoying your time with me?
I am indeed.
It's great on this channel, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
That's why I think these people should subscribe, don't you?
You should.
I think you should subscribe. If you want to see more punches going and you want to see me hurt Nick,
subscribe.
Subscribe now. Thanks for watching.